All right. Well, this first part is going to be kind of just talking to you and just joining. And then I'll tell you two little stories. And so, Alice and I, my wife, Alice, she's my first wife. We were married 59 years ago, come this fall. And, uh, I joke about her being my first wife, 59 years. Yeah. Well, anyway, and so we were on this cruise to the British Isles. We just got home last Wednesday, and yeah, I have a little jet lag, but we were in Belfast, and so I thought, well, I know two stories from Belfast that were a part of Maggie Pearce, who was from New Bedford, Massachusetts. She was born in Belfast, married in Scotland, and then lived to be 93 years old. And I saw her once at the Arch, and she was with the St. Louis Festival there and featured, and she said, you know, we have these wonderful mountains in Ireland and we have hills and mountains in Scotland, and you don't have any, so you made your own. And there's this arch, and we were all so proud of that arch, and that was our own mountain. I remember her one time telling in Jonesboro, Tennessee, and a baby was really crying. I mean, screaming. And it wasn't the baby's fault. You know, that's what babies do. And so, she just stopped and she said, take the wee one out. And this poor mother was like, but she didn't do it. And she goes, no, no, I can't go on until you take the wee one out. And so, yes, in the big tent, the mother got up with the wee one and went out, and she went on with her stories. And a gutsy, wonderful lady, Mary Purse. And so when Alice and I were in Belfast, we saw the wall. I know a lot of you probably been to Ireland, been to Belfast, Northern Ireland, and have seen it, but it's not just a wall about keeping Catholics and Protestants apart. It's not just, and mainly they say right now it's just like young people, which is true everywhere. Who causes problems, right? It's you know, kind of young people. If senior citizens all took over, there wouldn't be any problem at all. You know, babies and senior citizens. It's just the people in the middle that cause all the problem. Anyway, so in this wall, on this wall, are murals everywhere, and they're painted over and painted over and painted over. And then there are flags along the wall. And they still close the gate and open the gate to keep the power people, in their place at night. And so there's no problems. And Belfast is a very wonderful city. I mean, we just loved it and very alive. And on the wall where the flags are of all the different countries, you can sign the wall. So Alice signed that she was there, and I signed with a little heart. And then you see lots of signings that are expletives, which you can imagine. And so each country, you have people from that country come to Belfast, and then they write about the things that they don't like about their own country. So Americans write about America, Iranians write about Iran, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All over any disputes, anything people have trouble with. And we were with the cab driver that was born in London, but then he went to Belfast and married a Catholic girl who remembers rocks being and bricks being thrown at her school bus on the way to school until the agreement came called the Good Friday Agreement on April 10, and that was April 10 of 1998. And that's when the peace really became a thing of the present and the future. And so like I said, we enjoyed Belfast. But in the meantime, people used to tell stories to keep everything kind of in line. And of course, I had to wear their shirt, right? While I was on the boat. And some lady said, oh, where did you get that shirt? And I said, I got it at an estate sale in St. Louis, Missouri. She was thinking I bought it already right on the trip, and everything. But here's the deal. Maggie Purse would put everything in perspective by telling these stories. You see, there was a young man, and he was trying to collect money for his cause. And he would go up to every house, and he walked up the wee little path until he came to the house of a woman. He knocked on the door, and she answered. And she said, Yes, son, can I help you? Yes, Mum, I'm collecting for the Belfast Brass Band Benevolent Association. Would you care to give something to help us? Oh, son, I'm so hard of hearing. I just can't hear you. Could you say it again, please? Yes, Mum, I'm collecting for the Belfast Brass Band Benevolent Association. Would you get to give a penny or something to help our cause? Oh, son, I'm just so sorry. I really can't hear you. Could you say it again? Mom, I'm collecting for the Belfast Brass Band Benevolent Association. Would you care to give something to our cause to keep us going? Oh, son, I just can't hear you. I'm so sorry. Oh, that's okay. That's okay, he said as he walked back away from the house. And he was kind of, rejected there and everything. And he gets to the fence and he opens the gate. And she says, Now, son, when you get there to that gate, you close it nice and tight. And he said, To heck with your gate. And she said, And to heck with the Belfast Brass Band Association too. That's story number one, to put it in perspective. And now that I'm hard of hearing, I really understand the perspective. And the second, it isn't just Catholics and Protestants. It has to do with power. It has to do with, you know, where do you want to live? Who do you think has the better deal? And so this is another story. Mary was a cute little girl. And she was, just so wonderful at the school, at St. Patrick's Elementary School. And she was such a good girl and everything. And the priest, he was walking up, the street there, and he was going to go get some bread. And so Mary, she would love to sing her little song with her little ball. She would just bounce it up against the side of the house, and it would bounce back on the sidewalk, and then she'd grab it and she'd throw it, and she was very good at it. And as she did, she would sing her little song like this: The Protestants of all the nice houses, the Protestants of all the nice houses. Oh, Mary, said the priest. Mary, with all the problems we have here in Belfast, and, I'm really surprised at them lyrics. You ought to change that because it's just not, it's just not a good thing to keep us, at peace. And so, would you please, the Father in heaven and I also will forgive you if you change the lyrics. Oh, Father, I'm so sorry. Would you please forgive me, Father? And God, forgive me. I am so sorry. I will change the lyrics. Okay, Father. Yes, yes, yes. So she kept thinking about the lyrics and what to change. And she watched as the priest got the bread. He came out of the shop and back down. And as he walked on the other street, kind of nonchalant, so that he wouldn't act like he was really listening to her. And she threw the ball again. And there was her song. Jesus was born in the manger. Jesus was born in the Oh, the Father thought, isn't that wonderful that Mary has done that? Isn't that just wonderful? And she kept singing, Jesus was born in the manger. And just then, he got just about out of earshot, and she said, Jesus was born in the manger because the Protestants of all the nice houses, the Protestants of all the nice houses. And there are my stories of Belfast for you. Maggie Purse.